had been trained in electrical pollution testing, and it was to help our dairy farmers. If they are having problems with stray voltage electrical pollution on their dairy farm, I was to give them support.
Dave Calling measures stray voltage levels. Stray voltage, which is also called tingle voltage, occurs when the amount of power coming in overwhelms the electrical grounding of a building, like a barn or a house. For Dave Calling, testing for stray voltage was a part-time job till the wind turbines came in. After that, all sorts of people started calling him, confused because they didn't know what was going on. One of those families were the Renjevelds. Immediately after the turbines that surround their farm came online a few years ago, the Renjevelds were shocked at a 30% drop in the milk production from their dairy herd.
Immediately we noticed we couldn't get the milk out of the cows. They dropped drastically in our milking.
Cows weren't drinking water properly. They were sitting there licking like making a mess.
The cattle were cautious about the metal water troughs in the barn because they were getting shocked when they tried to drink.
When I had a sliver in my hand and I stuck it in the water, I got a good shock from it. And well, I think it's probably those windmills or the wiring. The wiring is right against our farm here, only 100 feet away from the barn. The big high voltage lines from the windmills.
Finally, somebody said, well, you got stray voltage in your barn. When we finally, after 2 years of complaining that we're not getting the milk out, you think maybe it's a feed, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No, it just turned out it was something simple like tingle voltage. This filters out I don't know the technical terms for it, but it just stops the stray voltage from entering our barn. Now they don't get shocks anymore, and they immediately, and I'm talking like this was installed on the 25th, the next shipment that was after that, we were up 300 liters per shipment. And it's been like that since. And we have done nothing to this different feed or nothing, you know, so to me, it was totally amazing. We were all of a sudden going, whoa, what did you do? And then, yeah, it turned out it was this.
Dave Calling provided the Renjevelds with that tingle voltage filter, and they don't come cheap. There's been very little help coming from the electrical utility or the wind developers here, so Calling has become the man to call when the voltage goes astray. He's made over 300 house calls since the turbines went up. Today, he's taking readings at the farm of Wayne Schwant.
Well, there's dirty electricity coming in on these lines, coming right into the house.
They ended up sleeping. You slept in your fifth wheel trailer all last summer?
Yeah,
right?
we slept in the trailer because we didn't have anything on it, so we would charge the battery through the day in the trailer and then pull the plug and sleep in the trailer at night. That was the only way you get a night's sleep.
The top wire is called the hot. That's where the electricity comes into the farm. The bottom wire is called the primary neutral return, which is where all your electricity has to leave the farm. Every electron that comes onto the farm has to leave the farm. So what can happen then, because we know the bottom wire is not large enough, we get backfeeding, where electricity actually starts coming back into the house and the farms, into the grounding network through that bottom wire.
It's just a 100-acre farm, but it's a good farm.
Nobody wants a house though.
No, nobody wants a house in the middle of a wind farm,
The turbines near Wayne Schwant's farm aren't turning today, but that gives Dave Calling a chance to take a reading when things are quiet, so he can compare it to previous readings he took when the windmills were spinning.
You see there's not a lot of high frequency riding on it. This is the wind, the power's off to your farm. We got the disconnect at the main transformer pole shut off, and the wind turbines are off. This is the last time I was here, which is in November 2010. Power was off to the farm then, so it's nothing to do with you. But the wind turbines are on, and you can see all the high frequency there. And when that gets on the wiring of your home act like horizontal antennas and actually radiate this high frequency out of the walls.
Well, it's weird. Sometimes I have rashes, which I had never had before. and I have had the pain that radiates from your ears down towards your neck. I sometimes get pains in the top of my head, and I do have a cap that has steel mesh in it that I wear on those days. And some days I wear it almost all day. And I do not like wearing a cap, so I don't do it for the joy of it.
And another thing, you wake up maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, and the old heart's going thump, 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 just to beat hell, eh? Going full bore. And you think, what's going on here? And I'm not the only one. I'm talking to other people that are same thing. So I goes into the doctor, oh, well, we'll run you through all the tests. So I said to him when I come back from south this spring, what about all those tests? Oh, they're all inconclusive. I don't know where you turn for answers, because the medical profession, I don't think they're up to speed on this.
Dave Calling lives in the middle of the Ripley wind farm in Bruce County. Across the road is a house left vacant by a family made too ill to stay put. They were reportedly bought out by the wind developer, but had to sign a gag order, promising they wouldn't talk about their ordeal. All of this is happening while the Ontario government still insists that there are no health issues associated with wind farms. That same report from Dr. Arlene King, the medical officer of health, grants that turbines can be an annoyance, but then goes on to say that an annoyance is not a disease.
I tell the story. I was a dairy farmer when I had a sick cow, and I called my veterinarian and said, I have a sick cow. He didn't say, oh, well, we studied the report, Dave, and your cow is not sick. The first thing he did, he came out and checked the environment that my cow was living in, checked the food supply that my cow was eating, the diet, and checked my management, right? We tried to determine why this cow was sick. Dr. Arlene King releases a report saying, oh no, we've studied the reports and any data, and there's no such thing as people getting sick from wind turbines. Well, you have to go and look at the house the person was living in the proximity of what? The substation, the wind turbine, talk to the people, look at the medical records, determine what they're eating, smoking, drinking. Then we'll decide whether there's an effect, right? It's simple.